Hey there, how are y'all doing today? It's Brianna, and I'm back today with a video that's a little bit different than the videos that I've been posting recently. This video is more for maybe newer estheticians, maybe aesthetic students, or possibly people who are, wanting to just have some help as far as how to speak with their clients. Um, the whole consultation side of aesthetics. I mean, we learn about it in school a little bit, but it's like it really until you get out in the real world and you're actually dealing with clients, are you really going to get any practice as far as having a good consultation? So I just wanted to go over like a few things that can really help or really important factors to think about when you are doing consultations with your clients. So, really, for me, I would say that a consultation really starts with that first contact. So, whether it's somebody calling you, emailing you, however, people, the general public is getting your information, that is pretty much where the consultation starts because a lot of the time they're going to be telling you about, why they're maybe wanting to get a facial for themselves, maybe some type of skin conditions they might be having, like breakouts, hyperpigmentation, whatever they have going on. So you do want to have a way of kind of like documenting that from the beginning. And then also a really big part of the consultation for me is the intake form. And I actually linked down in the description one of my intake forms that I use, and I make my consent forms on Jot form, and it's like free for I think the first three forms that you do. So I have forms for all of the services that I have, and then you might want to have specific forms for things like chemical peels, more advanced facials. So just keep that in mind as well. But I really like Jot form because you pretty much just have a link, and in my phone I have notes, and I just have the links. I have pretty much a system so that way when somebody is scheduling an appointment, I can automatically send that out to them. And the beauty of the intake form is you can really customize it. You can check out the one that I have, but there's so many forms on Jotform that other people have put together, and so you can really take a look. And then also you want to, I'll talk about another part that you might want to get from your insurance closer to the end. But so on the intake form, and when we're talking about the intake form, we have to think about like all of the information that we want covered, specifically as far as one thing that's really major to put is you want to know if they have any allergies to any type of foods or products or what they have going on. So you definitely want to make sure you have a space on your intake form that lists any of their allergies, and that way you can re-ask again, follow up, and make sure when they're in person. But that's just one way that you can automatically know if they have anything, any allergies to any products that you might have, or just so that way you can double check and make sure that you don't have, that you're not going to be coming in contact with anything that has those ingredients. I also ask people if they have an allergy, I'll ask them what happens to you when you come in contact with whatever this is. Like, do if they get itchy, red, or whatever, just to know, how their skin has reacted to different things in the past. One time, I had a client who said she didn't have any allergies. And then I put a mask on her that happened to contain avocado, and she started to kind of swell up. So I did, take a look at the back of the ingredients list, and I kind of read them all out to her. And she said, in the past, I did have a reaction to avocado. So that's why I even ask people if they have any allergies to foods. So another part of the consultation form that's a really key part for us is learning their skincare routine. I have a section on there that asks about all of the different products that they use, like cleansers, toners, exfoliators, anything like that. We want to know what their skincare routine is. And so I put that on the consent form. But even in person, we want to know things like, do you wash your face in the morning and at night? How often do you change your pillowcase? Different things as far as their routine. Are they wiping their face with a towel every day? You just really want to know their routine because sometimes the things that people have going on with their skin is really just from these little small changes that they could be making that they're just not aware about because you are the expert and that's part of what you're there to do is to learn what their skincare routine is and see maybe where there can be some improvements. And also when we learn about their skincare routine and the products that they're using, that is going to be a really big opportunity for you to possibly integrate some corrective skincare products. This is where retail is very important. And retail, for me, I personally really do love retailing products to my clients because I know that these products work and I know that based on their skin, what we're dealing with, what can get them results. So I really enjoy that part because it's not that we need to change all of your steps, but there may be one or two things that maybe we could put into your system, into your skincare routine that will, really make a difference. Another thing that we want to find out is what are their goals? Are they, some people are just coming in to relax. So I have that as an option. Like, are you looking to relax? Because, then we know we want to, you want to kind of go over the form and you kind of want to restate some of the things that they mentioned. Like, okay, so we're going to definitely make sure that you're relaxed today because that shows that you're listening. But also, if they're having some goals as far as hyperpigmentation or acne or different things, that's also going to be where we're going to talk about how I can help you in here and over our visits together. But also, if you want to work on brightening, then maybe we can talk about adding some brightening products. For instance, Skin Script has the kojic acid toning pads, or I really like Institute Dermed. They have a really nice brightening cleanser. They have a whole brightening system. So it's like, when we know their goals, we can provide information on how you can reach those goals. Another really important part you want to do is ask about their past treatments. And that's something that I need to add to my consent form is we want to be asking, have you ever had, chemical peels? Have you ever had dermaplaning? See what level they're at. Or is this a completely new person? Or have they had different, a series of chemical peels, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion? Do they go to the dermatologist? You really want to get that information so you can advise them correctly. You don't, you could be talking to them and then you can be like, well, I think, a series of chemical pills would be really great. And they might be like, well, I've done chemical pills in the past. And so you kind of want to ask them first and see what their experiences are first. And then that way it's like you're speaking from an informed perspective. Another thing is if it's somebody's first facial, that's one of my first questions is like, have you ever had a facial before? And also, how long ago was your last facial? Because if it's somebody's first facial, for one, I'm always super excited for, somebody to come in and it's their first facial because I just, feel like this is just going to be a great new experience for them to have. But I just kind of go over what facials are. You want to let them know how often they should be getting facials because a lot of people don't know. And you kind of just want to kind of explain through some steps just briefly as far as the cleansing. There's going to be steam, there's going to be hot towels. Explain to them and then, tell them like while we're going through any of this, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If somebody seems like they are into having a conversation during the facial, maybe you could even explain to them a little bit what you're doing. But yeah, and you can do that even if it's somebody's not their first facial because if it's their first facial with you in general. And so that's a really big thing is, we are educating our clients about skincare. That is the whole thing about being an esthetician. If that's the road that you're taking, is we really are teaching people about skin because going off of commercials and advertisement, it's not very clear, especially, sometimes we're using products and then it makes our skin kind of react in a different way. So we might think that our skin is more dry, but really we're just kind of drying our skin out with products. So you want to really educate your clients. I do a lot of like comparison to everyday things as far as like, I know maybe you've heard you go to the dentist twice a year, but you brush your teeth every day. So it's like those things you do every day are going to make a big difference. And that's why we want you to have a really strong home care routine. So just try to, break it down to things that don't have to sound so scientific. And so the last part that I was really going to talk about as far as the whole consultation thing, you definitely want to make sure you have your legal disclaimers on your forms, and you can even go through your insurance provider. I have a friend who is still in school right now. And so I told her maybe even take one of the forms from your school and see what information that they provide, because then at least you know it's also in the same state that you're in as far as those disclaimers. But you definitely want to make sure that you are covering yourself from a legal standpoint when you're working with your clients. So that's pretty much everything that I really want to say as far as the consultation side of things with aesthetics. The consultation is really the part where you're going to build a lot of confidence and trust with your clients, because they know that you are listening to them. So they know that like you're understanding what they have going on, what their goals are. And then you're also, talking to them as far as what you can do. And I also have some experience with like supplements and nutrition. So I do even go as far as to talk about nutrition, water, vitamins, recommendations. Obviously, I always say, like, I'm not a doctor, so these are just like recommendations or suggestions or different things. And then one last thing, really, you want to also know if your client has had any type of like history with like psoriasis, eczema, if they've ever been diagnosed with anything like that on their face or neck or anything. You definitely want to be aware of anything like that, or anything that they're getting from the dermatologist. And then you need to know as far as your products, do they match well with that? How much time does somebody need to be off of tretinoin before they get an enzyme facial or a chemical peel or these different things, because we want to always keep our clients safe. So that's pretty much it for me today. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and definitely wear your sunscreen, but also still get some sun. So until next time, see ya.